that promise.
Joining me now, California Congressman Ed Royce, who serves as chairman for the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Mr. Chairman, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Maria.
Was this the right move?
Well, it certainly was the right move. And not only was it the right move, but the inclusion of Britain and France in the operation, as well as the support that Turkey gave us, perhaps gives us a way forward, because now we have a situation where all of the neighbors around Syria are dealing with the results of this mass exodus of people fleeing this conflict. So as a consequence, all of Europe, as well as Turkey and Jordan and Lebanon, are in a circumstance now where 14 million people have been driven out of their homes, 500,000 killed. And they would like to see a solution. If we can have a strong diplomatic effort now, backed up with serious financial pressure against those who are transferring these arms so that Assad can continue this bloody conflict, we may have a way forward for a political solution. That's what we need right now, is to bring all of Europe and all of the region together to do that.
Understood, but what is the way forward? How do you explain to the American people, or some people who may say, we don't want to be entangled in another war, now Syria?
Well, what we're talking about now is what you saw in terms of the diplomacy that went into getting Britain and France on board and getting the support of the regional players here. There's only one actor, and that's Iran, that wants to keep this kind of disorder because they want a land bridge to bring weapons and fighters up to the border of Israel. They need anarchy in Syria for that purpose. It is actually more beneficial for the rest of the globe to work together right now to get a political settlement, and if it takes safe zones, if it takes, you know, the financial pressure of the types of sanctions that we brought against North Korea, then that's the kind of thing it'll take against Syria and those who are supporting Assad, such as Iran and Moscow. But I think if we now move forward on that front, we can look forward to an end to 7 years of a bloody conflict that otherwise the Iranians are going to continue to pour those troops in there and build up their weapons operations up against the Israeli border. We need this international effort.
I want to ask you about NAFTA, so I want to switch gears for a moment. But
Sure.
Before I do, let me ask you this real quick. The president recently said he wants to pull out of Syria. Is that no longer on the table, given what has taken place?
We don't need tens of thousands of troops on the ground right now. We need our force there that's taking down ISIS. We obviously need that. But we don't need the introduction of U.S. ground forces in those numbers into that region. What we need, as I said, is a diplomatic political solution right now where we have a strategy. And this week, when we go into session, I'm asking the administration to come up and to testify. That's what we're going to have as a hearing on a strategy forward. And second, I want that bill that we passed out of our committee into the Senate. We need that Senate bill to get to the president's desk to put those serious financial pressures and sanctions against Assad and his backers.
Okay. Well, we'll be watching for that, Congressman. Real quick on NAFTA, this week, Vice President Mike Pence said this, and I quote, "We are very close to the kind of breakthrough on issues of immigration, drug interjection that will be the benefit to both sides, and we could have a final NAFTA agreement possible in several weeks." And you say?
And I say one of the important elements potentially of solving this NAFTA problem is transshipment that goes from China into Mexico and then up into the border in the United States. We want to end that transshipment. If we can get that ended along with these other changes that we're trying to get in the agreement, then I think we've got something here that's going to be very beneficial.
So you think we could actually see a NAFTA agreement even before the Mexican elections?
I think it would be, I don't know that it can be done prior to that, but if we can get the details ironed out quickly and get that announced, I think it's helpful.
Congressman, you're very helpful this morning. We so appreciate your time. Thanks very much, sir.
Thank you, Maria.
We will see you soon, Mr. Chairman. Coming up, House Speaker Paul Ryan confirming months of speculation that he will be stepping down at the end of the term. How does this